Welcome to the Raising Smart Kids podcast. I'm your host, Yong, and each week we'll explore ways in which the arts can help you raise a smarter kid. I'll be sharing ways the arts can propel your child's learning and interviewing top artists, educators, and entrepreneurs. These guests will share why the arts are so very important to your child, along with actionable ideas you can easily implement into your already busy schedule. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast here on iTunes and share us with a friend. For extra tips on raising smart kids, head on over to artsmartparenting.com and click on the Live tab. Hello. This is Yong Pratt, and I'd like to welcome you back to day number 7 of how to unleash your child's 8 superpowers and propel learning through the arts. I hope you're enjoying the book so far, and I would absolutely love to hear your feedback. You can email me at Yong, Y-O-N-G, at raisingasuperherobook.com. I really want to hear about your success stories, how you're using the ideas and strategies in the book to communicate with teachers, and how to really make your child feel so special about their unique superpowers. Again, as you may recall, each of us has 8 unique superpowers, and we each have different strengths amongst them. Schools teach and test to only 2 of these, so often many kids are left feeling like they're not good enough or smart enough to be in school because their test scores and their grades may not reflect their true brilliance. So it's up to us as parents to really captivate, capture, communicate, and encourage these superpowers at home and at school. The 7th superpower we're going to talk about today is verbal linguistic. And these little ABCs are very indicative of what it means to be a verbal linguistic superhero. These kiddos tend to gravitate towards words and may have a very developed vocabulary at a young age. They may read at a young age or really read for enjoyment quite often. They may make up their own stories or their own poetry, and they may be prone to want to speak in front of others. A couple of famous verbal linguistic learners throughout history include William Shakespeare and Emily Dickinson. Some potential careers that your verbal linguistic superhero may have include being a teacher, being an author, or in this day and age, a blogger, being a philosopher. How do we engage this superpower through the arts? By enrolling our kids into activities that can help them develop their craft, develop their speaking, develop how they put words together. And one of the first activities that comes to mind is, of course, acting. Speaking is another great activity and one that verbal linguistic superheroes may be really appreciative of. If you have a local Toastmasters groups, they sometimes have kids-focused activities. You may want to do a quick search for that. And if your child is in high school, there may be a local forensics team where they can do speech and debate, which will really go a long way in helping them to hone this craft. And if your child is really apt to writing and you really see that that's something special and unique that they have, finding a writer's group or creating your own is definitely the way to go. My friend Brandy Miller runs a website called 40 Day Writer, and she gives some great tips on how to create your own writer's group. And if you are interested in becoming an author and writing a book yourself, her method will help you write that book in 40 days. A couple of the tools you can use at home and communicate these with your child's teacher are reading together. This is one of my favorite activities, and when my kids were little, I used to love to snuggle up with them neck in bed and read stories together at night. Often we would take this activity even further and create our own stories. I would say something like Once Upon a Time on Plum Street, or It Was a Dark and Stormy Night, and we would continue saying one line back and forth, creating our own unique bedtime stories, which is always great fun and great for creating memories. Speak to learn. This really goes back to finding a local Toastmasters group or a forensics group, or really just being able to have your kids speak the information they're learning rather than just reading it. To me, it's really no fun to open a book and read it and memorize, and it's not very engaging. So if your child can paraphrase the information, speak it out loud, and maybe even then record it, it's really going to go a long way in solidifying the information they're learning. Joining a writer's group or forming one of your own is great if your child has a propensity to want to write stories or write books. And again, technology is certainly on our side for this one. You can grab your smartphone, an iPod, a tablet. Pretty much any device these days has the ability to either voice record or make a video, and by doing so, this will help your child be able to play back the information they speak or they hear to help them really use times such as the commute to and from school as learning time rather than dead time. So this is a great activity if your child has a verbal linguistic superpower. Just be sure, a little note here, that if you do record somebody else, please make sure you get their permission before you do so. All right, my friends, that ends our lesson today, number 7, on verbal linguistic superpowers. If you can believe it, is already day number 8, our last lesson together, and we're going to be speaking all about logical mathematical superpowers. Until then, I'm wishing you a day full of discoveries, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in to the Raising Smart Kids 2.0 podcast. To really accelerate your ability to unleash your child's superpowers and raise smarter kids through the arts, we're creating loads of new resources, ways to connect, and ways to celebrate your successes. You can join our free Facebook community by visiting theartsmartparent.com or just search up Raising Smart Kids 2.0 on Facebook. I look forward to seeing you inside our community.